Alright, let's go do the other side mission. What? Go here?
I'll wait for you here.
Village Hall. Oh, nice. Okay, let's go down these stairs over here. Oh, up here. Let's go up top. Ooh, nice bed. Nice bed indeed. Heart dust. Pick up. Oh, nice. Uh-oh.
Leave me, Vulcan. I don't want to talk right now.
Well, we have to tell you, that's undermining you. I'm sorry about your dad.
I'm sorry about your dad. She took me by surprise. I didn't have time to protect him.
Even though I wish you could have saved him, it's not your fault. It's that witch.
Yeah, but it's understandable that she'd be mad at your father.
Whatever he did to her, he didn't deserve to die like that. She's a murderer, a monster.
A monster that maybe just saved your life.
Perhaps. But why did my father have her imprisoned? Did he know she would try to kill him?
He had us to protect him, and if he hadn't shown up in the middle of the swamp, he'd still be alive. It just doesn't make sense. We have to find out what he was doing. He must have been up to something, because he didn't talk to anyone about it. Not even the people who were supposed to take care of him.
What are you accusing him of?
Nothing really. I'm just asking questions. But I'm going to need your help to find the answers.
I will help you. I need to know what happened as much as you.
I need your help. Come with me.
If you want.
Alright, cheered her up. Nice.
Vulcan, you must help me. The prince is dying.
Well, I'm happy to see that my talents as a doctor are finally being recognized.
There's no doubt an explosion would cure him of all his ills forever. But I was actually thinking about your connections with the Red Scribes. If you could speak to them, it would save me having the prince's death on my conscience.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a friend of theirs. But yeah, I could always give it a try.
How's the prince doing?
So is the prince doing any better?
He is still in a coma. He doesn't seem much better, no.
I'm going to talk with the Red Scribes, Doctor. He might know of a cure.
Thank you.
Let's change the subject.
I have a few questions I need to ask
I
you.
have a few questions I need to ask you.
Tell me something more about the elves.
Elves are pretty rare. I haven't had the chance to talk to many. Can you tell me more about you people?
We are born in the trees, eat only seeds, and we spend all the livelong day singing.
I get the feeling you're fucking with me.
Perish the thought. Well, it's just that we aren't that different from you humans, despite what one hears. Our civilization is obviously a bit older, so we have had the time to learn from our mistakes. We don't really live in the same rhythm as you do. We move a little slower, and most of us are prone to having at least some respect for the past. This is the reason why we never destroy anything, that we prefer to build on top of things.
I've heard that you are immortal.
I've heard that you are immortal.
That joke has lived for 15 generations. I will never get tired of it. No, we're not immortal. We live long lives, though, much longer than you. We are resistant to poisons, rotten food, and toxic body odor, apparently. Unfortunately, these things do not make us immortal.
Would you ever go to war?
Don't elves ever make war?
That's an impression we like to give other people. The fact is, we do go to war, just never against each other. You must understand that, given our long lifetimes, battles are fairly futile. This may well be what has motivated the choices of our king concerning the Ice Lords. But we certainly know how to fight, and you'll see proof of that soon enough.
Yeah. That's the prince who gives the orders.
So it's the prince who gives the orders.
The word orders may not be the best one. We do not submit nor obey easily. Our kings are a reference, wise men who can point out the way. They tend to guide us rather than give us orders. But to answer your question, it is his father, the king, who is the leader of our people.
Who is the prince?
Who is the elf in the healing house? Is he really your prince?
He is Prince Arundel, the son of our king and heir to the Elven crown. Therefore, yes, he is our king.
How the hell did he end up here?
Prince Arundel led a detachment of the Elven army sent to harass the Deadwalkers. And when he reached Bastion, he fell into an ambush. I got wind of this trap, but by the time I arrived, it was too late. When I caught up to the prince, he was already wounded, and most of his soldiers were dead. Those who survived covered our retreat.
To here?
Yes. The route to Carolthas was too dangerous. I knew about this village and felt that it would be secure for at least a little while. As soon as he gets better, we shall leave for Carolthas. The remainder of the human and elven armies are gathering there. That is where the final stage of the war will be played out.
Where are you from?
You seem different from the other elves I've met. Where are you from?
Really? I seem different. And yet I have such pointy ears. And if you really want to know, I actually come from one of the most ancient and noble houses that exists. I'm even linked to the royal family. But I can assure you that I am sufficiently far down the line of succession to be in no danger of being crowned. And my reputation is no help either.
As far as bad reputations go, every mercenary has got one, so we're used to it.
Let's just say that I got into enough trouble to eventually be considered a traitor to my people. When I got involved in the war, I disagreed with decisions made by the king. He thought that this war, like so many others, would not last. That the conquests won by the Ice Lords would melt away like all the human victories before them had. But I thought differently. Right from the start of hostilities, I began to requisition certain resources I felt necessary for those doing the fighting. More food, more weapons, better armor. When my people discovered what I'd done, I was declared an outlaw, and many saw me as a thief, which, in a manner of speaking, I guess I was.
Alright. Yeah, they should have listened to you.
Bunch of cowards. If they had listened to you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
I've been telling myself that for years. But I do understand their point of view. It is flawed, but not entirely thoughtless. They have had some time to prepare their forces and to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the Dead Walker army. This knowledge might allow us to turn the tide of the war, even if it does seem too little too late at this point.
Do you know these swamps?
Do you know these swamps?
I've been in this area long enough to have explored a fair amount of it, actually. The region is rather inhospitable, which I suppose is a good thing under the present circumstances.
A good thing? You're out of your mind.
These swamps are a labyrinth. The Deadwalker scouts will never be autonomous enough to find their way to the village by themselves.
That means we should be fairly safe for the moment. At least until a general or an ice lord comes to town.
Except that recently, there has been a change in these swamplands. And I must admit that I no longer feel safe at all.
What do you mean?
Something is affecting the swamplands, corrupting the vegetation and the animals. And I have no idea what it is. But anything that grows or lives here could become a threat. So I strongly recommend that you watch where you put your feet.
Let's change the subject.
Alright.
I'll leave you here.
Good. Alright. Speak to Sylvan.
Do you have any idea how to wake the elf prince up?
Unfortunately, I don't. I think I've tried just about every remedy I know, but nothing works.
Are you sure you tried everything?
You said just about. I'm guessing that's not by chance?
It's true. There's one formula I haven't tried yet. An extremely powerful solution that requires a certain ingredient to make. An ingredient I don't have.
What is it?
A very virulent poison secreted by the chrysalid queen. But be careful you don't mix them up with the ones you usually see. I wanted to go looking for them myself, but the villagers stopped me. They say they're really dangerous. It seems they can be found along the road we took to get here. And apparently, they only come out at night.
I'll get you some.
Okay. Change the time. Can I have a look at your stock? Sorry, getting on with the cure to wake up the prince. Question I'd like to ask you.
I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
You know what's happening to me.
Do you have any idea about what's happening to me?
I'm afraid I may not be able to help you. Your condition is more due to magic than medicine. Your symptoms remind me of certain mental illnesses, where the subject has the impression he hears voices in his head.
And do these nutcases throw fire and have eyes that burn from within too?
You'd be surprised at what they can do. But obviously you're not like them. That being the case, if you study them, you might find some answers. In particular, I'm thinking of the fact that most of these poor madmen end up giving free rein to the darkest side of their personalities. Make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Alright. Did you know about Edwin?
Did you know about Edwin?
Are you asking if I helped ALS? No, not voluntarily at any rate. Our late Grand Master asked me to carry out a medical examination of the woman while she was still our guest. Of course, he wanted me to be discreet, so I couldn't really examine her.
What did you learn?
Apart from the fact that your friend looks like a woman, human and in perfect health, nothing.
So everything's normal?
Apparently, but as I said, I wasn't allowed to examine her. Everything looks normal, which isn't exactly the same thing. To get back to your initial question, the only part I played in the story was to give our Grand Master a powerful soporific. He must have used it to capture her, but believe me, I had absolutely no idea who the victim was going to be.
Alright, let's change the subject.
I'll be going now.
Alright, cool. Change the time. You can change the time of day by going to the sleeping points indicated on your map by the symbol. Okay. Let's go through this door. Oh.